next 60 days, I'm going to be pursuing a new goal to run my first 100-mile ultra marathon. I've always had this desire to not only go through the adventure that people talk about when one pursues an ultra marathon of 100 miles, like 50 miles. Yep, that's great, but you can get that done in like probably 8 hours or so. But 100-mile, like, you enter the territory of you're really pushing your body to a new limit. And for this race specifically, you're gonna run overnight. Like, you really can't avoid it, especially at my level. So there's gonna be quite a bit of time alone in the darkness that I'll get to spend with myself. And I'll also have the privilege of spending with one of my friends, Rich, who I'm also coaching through this race. So I had the privilege of coaching one of my friends, Tom, through his first Ironman at Lake Placid, which was a great success. And now somehow I found another crazy friend who wants to join me on this next adventure. So I prepared a little bit of a breakdown for you. I have about 60 days to prepare for this 100-miler. I wouldn't recommend this to pretty much anybody because honestly, it's a tight enough window where I myself am nervous about my ability to finish 100 miles with only 62 days of training. But I don't, and I'm not going to be one of those clickbaity guys on social media that says, I only trained for 62 days and did my first 100-mile ultra marathon, because that's not true. I just finished an Ironman. I have quite a bit of training under my belt over this past year, which I'm hoping will serve as a decent base to now focus in for these 60 days to push my limit even further to get this 100-miler done. So I am by no means starting from scratch, which makes me feel comfortable pushing for this goal. It's a goal that I've had, that I said earlier in the year, also that I would like to get done this year, because this year I turned 30. I said it would be really cool if I can do this Ironman in July and then get a 100-miler done within my 30th year. In the name of being as prepared as possible for this race, I've been doing some research, lots of thinking, a little bit of organization, which I have here on my iPad. I'm not skilled enough to share screen, so I'm just going to read off what I've prepared here. And I'm calling this next effort the Road to Ultra, or maybe it should be Road to 100, but let me know in the comments. So the first thing that I have to start thinking about, and have started thinking about, is gear. Now, I'm not going to be one of those gearheads that says you need this shoe. The most expensive shoes are the best shoes that you can get. Buy everything that you can potentially need and waste all your money on the sport. That's not my MO. I like to get through these types of things in the most cost-effective way possible. So I still have my higher cushion, higher speed. So the shoes I wore during Ironman Lake Placid, which are my Asics Super Blast, which I intend on using, excuse me, for my longer, speedier efforts. Something that I need to buy, or that I bought already, is just a lightweight, high cushion shoe that I can use on pretty much all my daily easy runs where I couldn't care less about the pace. So the shoes that I chose for that are the Hoka Bondis. I've heard of many athletes really enjoying these. I've had several friends that use these shoes as just, daily. We're not aiming for speed. We're just aiming to protect the joints and get some fine mileage done. So I got them. I need a pair of trail shoes for the race. I'll be getting a trail running vest and my typical carb supplements. So far, that's all I'm thinking in the name of gear. I'll potentially get those trail poles that you see everybody using, but TBD on that. The next thing I've been thinking about is an example training week. And full disclosure, technically, I've been ramping up training from my race. So the race was July 20th. I've already been ramping up my running miles, and even today I just hit a bike session. Because I know that my running volume is going to have to increase so much, I don't want to put myself at injury risk, especially at this point in recovery from my race. So I will still be using bike sessions to bridge the gap between where I want to be in terms of running volume and where I need to be. So here's an example training week, and Monday will be an off day. Tuesday will be a slightly speedier run. Wednesday, bike intervals. Thursday, easy run. Friday, easy run. Friday, easy ride. Sunday, long run. So that's your main long run. And, geez, I'm mixing up the days like crazy here. Saturday will be the main long run. And Sunday will be another long run, but at an easier effort. So the key thing when training for an ultra is that you need to start packing in back-to-back long runs as a way to get your body acclimated to high volume in short durations of time without putting yourself at risk of injury by just doing too long of a session in one single day. So these 2 sessions I'm viewing as the key sessions during the week. Meaning, no matter what, those sessions are going to be my priority. So if I'm anticipating, and this is for you if you want to join me, if I'm anticipating that I have a fiance and I have a family and people want to see me on the weekend and I have some friends, believe it or not, you might not want to put both of your long runs on the weekend. They might tire you out. So what I'll probably end up doing as the mileage starts to increase and judging how my work starts to progress over the next few months, because work is regularly crazy for me, I'll have my main long run on Sundays, as I hinted at before, and the second long easy run on Monday as, again, a way to make sure that I get that high quality long run session in, and there's not going to be many excuses to not get the long easy run in on Mondays, because like what's happening on Mondays, usually there's a lower likelihood that there's going to be a work event. If you work late, you just got to run after it. And if you want to wake up early and hit your mileage, then you can hit your mileage. So I'm not worried about hitting my mileage on a Monday. So that's what I think I'll end up doing if work looks like it's going to start to get crazy and if my time is needed elsewhere on the weekends. Since I'll be recovering first for these few weeks, because I do not want to get injured following Ironman Lake Placid, if you do it right, you can finish a race like I did and actually be more fit following the recovery period, as long as you give your body some time to recover. But I haven't been the best with that. So I'm just going to walk you through what I did this past week so that you can see where I'm at in my training. So last Monday was an 8-mile run. Easy effort, as easy as I could. My heart rate was a little bit off because I wasn't fully recovered from the race, and I still am not fully recovered from the race, but I know my limits because I've done quite a few of these Ironman races now where I'm not scared by having an abnormally high heart rate on an easy run. My way of combating that is just go even easier. So I was hitting like 12-minute miles at like a 155 heart rate, and I couldn't care less. Like, it's not about the stats for this recovery period. So Monday, 8 miles. Tuesday, hour and a half on the bike. Wednesday, off. Thursday, 8 miles, easy. Friday, hour and 30 minutes, bike, easy. All these are easy. Saturday, 12 miles. Tried to keep it easy, but the 12 miles got pretty difficult. Just holding the heart rate that I was able to hold. And then Sunday, because Saturday was clearly not as easy as I hoped it would be, Sunday was a 2-hour bike. And my plans for this week, moving into this third week from the race forward, I'm starting to build in some more miles. So the plan for this week, which today, filming Tuesday, yesterday, 8 miles with speed intervals. Was a little nervous that it would be too soon for speed intervals, but got the speed intervals done and just listened to my body through it. Didn't push like crazy, just got it done. Tuesday, hour and 15 on the bike with intervals. Actually, I did an hour and 30 on accident. The intervals were not tough. They were just zone 3 intervals. Again, getting the body used to putting in some effort again. Tomorrow, Wednesday, off. Thursday will be 8 miles easy. Friday, hour and 15 easy on the bike. Saturday, 14 miles. Sunday, 10 miles easy. Now, after yesterday's run, I finally started to feel like my heart rate was coming back to me. And this, just 3 weeks after the race, I'm very happy with. So I'm not fully back, but I could tell that during my warm-ups and my cool-downs, I was in the exact zone that I would have expected myself to be in, which is big on a speed day. So we're seeing signs that I'm trending in a good direction, and I've even started to build back the mental motivation to really give this race a solid effort. Like, I'm always going to give a race a solid effort, but you'll know, and some of you probably do know, that after like really laying it all out there on a course, like Ironman alone is a very demanding activity. The Ironman Lake Placid course, it literally, if you are racing it, like some people want to take it easy and enjoy the experience, and that's great. But if you're racing for a new PR like I do, and taking another hour and 20 minutes off my last time, I finished that race with like nothing in the tank, and like that's a lot to recover from. So I'm very happy that after 3 weeks, my heart is coming back to normal. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not concerned about like breaking my body down to the point where I'm considered overtrained. And the key part in knowing that this ramp up to this 100-mile race, which is like October 10th or 11th, is I'm gonna leave plenty of room to listen to my body, because not only have I never sustained like this high weekly running volume, not this high as in like where I'm doing this week, but I'm gonna be approaching some like 60-mile weeks of running, which I've never done before. So this challenge that I have in front of me is a challenge that I'm legitimately nervous about, which feels good, because the thing that I started to get nervous about with Ironman was performance based. Like, how well am I gonna do? Am I gonna, beat my last time? By how much? And like, I know I'm gonna beat my last time, but anything can happen on a race, like that type of stuff that you tell yourself. But after last year's, like, I'm not nervous about finishing an Ironman. Like, I told myself, and I probably told you guys, that in the worst case scenario, I'll just finish the race, which, conceptually becomes such a crazy thing to say, because in 2022, I was like literally shaking in my boots at the thought of finishing. Like, I thought that it just wasn't in my cards potentially. Like, there was a chance that I would pass out before finishing that race, where, coming up to a year like this year, it was by no means as dramatic as I turned it to be in my head for that first year. All that to say, there's a, pros don't finish their races sometimes. So there's a very real chance that, something could happen that would prevent me from finishing. And stacking on the fact that I need to recover from my past race and then hit a certain mileage sustainably all within 60 days, knowing that I'm going to do a race that I'll say is probably going to take me up to 36 hours, is crazy, and something that I view as a real challenge for myself. So I'm excited to push through another mental barrier, a limit that I have in front of me. So that's just a little about me. Now, after this week, I'll continue to give updates, especially if I get new gear or find that I need some help with recovery and what I'm eating to sustain this level of activity. And if I do any major modifications to my training plan, I'll keep you all up to date. My main thing is obviously to help people get in shape and ready for their own types of endurance races. So I am taking on new coaching clients now that I have a few very nice successes under my belt. So if you'd like to be coached by me, click the link to my Stand store in the description below, and just put your email in that area that I have that says looking for a coach or whatever, and we'll be in contact, and we can talk about your goals and what you're after, and see how we can get you to accomplish whatever challenges lie ahead of you. But in the meantime, I hope you all have very happy training sessions, as good as they can be, and I will see you in the next video.